Joining me now is the Chief Creative Officer for Turning Point USA and man with the largest set of headphones I've ever seen in my life, Benny Johnson. Benny, welcome to I'm Right.
Thank you. Congratulations, Jesse. I heard the news. Man, national show. Man, big time.
You know, it's not like me to brag on myself, Benny. It's just that you and I both know I'll be incredible at it like everything else. So it's just I don't want to dwell on how awesome I am right now. Let's talk more about the Democrat debate right now. First of all, now I say that Bloomberg actually won. If people can say he took all the barbs, I say he won because he was the focus, and I say Bernie won because all the morons were too dumb to attack the guy who's the front runner. What say you?
You think Bernie won. Okay. I think that the worst thing that's ever happened to Bernie over the last two presidential cycles of running for president was the being called out on his absolutely asinine faux socialism, his astroturf socialism, him being a multimillionaire with three houses. And he called that his third house was a summer camp. No. Fact check false. His third house is a $600,000 palatial beachfront estate on a lake with 500 yards of beachfront. So pure nonsense, absolute limousine liberalism, and corrupt communist Bernie Sanders lying again.
All right, Benny, I'm putting you on the spot. Who's the next one to drop, and when do they do it?
Well, Amy Klobuchar is obviously the front runner to drop out. She has the smallest bump and has been performing really middle of the pack. You saw her battering ram tactics with Pete Buttigieg last night, which was just really strange. It's like the two cousins that nobody likes fighting over at Christmas, and everyone's just like, "Can you just take it to the garage?" It was just strange seeing the two of them go back and forth at each other. But I could watch it all night. I thought it was the best Democratic debate we'd had because you actually saw the gloves come off and you saw some people really starting to plant some punches on the jaw of each other's weaknesses. But if Mike Bloomberg is just so easily exposing Bernie Sanders and his hypocrisy, and if Mike Bloomberg was sort of a nervous wreck last night, shaking and not really performing that great, mumbling a lot and stammering, if he's getting roasted by this kind of clown car of a field, then what's going to happen when Trump goes against any of these guys?
Well, I say it gets ugly for any of them. I think that's just painfully obvious. Clearly, Trump is good in campaign mode. We're going to get to the rally here in just a second. Trump campaign's great. He's a sitting president. The economy's booming, and he has a knack for getting under people's skin, so that spells doom for them. Let's say there's one candidate there you least want Trump to face, understanding that Trump probably beats them all. Who makes you most nervous?
Well, I believe and have said for a long time that Bernie has an authenticity level that most of the candidates do not have. He has a resonant level. We work a lot on college campuses, and that's where you can find the real motivation inside of the voting electorate. There's a real motivation for Bernie Sanders on campus. His ideas are said to be new, even though we all know that they are as old as time and sincerely do not work. And we have about 100 million body bags to prove that they don't work. However, these kind of things are seen as rebelling against the system, and they are very popular on college campuses. Bernie also just is able to message, I think, better than a lot of the candidates. He just comes across as an authentic person. And so that on a debate stage versus Trump, I think is formidable more than any of the others. However, I think that Bernie loses 40 states.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, I have always worried at least a little bit about Bernie because of what you said, his authenticity, the fact his fans, Bernie can pack stadium. No one else that in there can pack a stadium even close to what Trump can. Bernie can pack a stadium. But the problem is you come out with a fracking ban, you just lost the Rust Belt, you just lost the presidential election. That turns into a bloodbath. All right, now, future of the Democrat Party. What is it? Are they going to return back to the more Amy Klobuchar, Bill Clinton type wing? Or is Bernie and AOC and these nut jobs, is that the future? Let's say 2020, Trump crushes someone. Do they self-assess and think this is not working anymore? Or are they like, sally forth?
The self-assessment time was 2016. I said this right after the election in 2016. The self-assessment time, the time to go in and say what went wrong here, was then. And there were going to be two divergent paths. Democrats were either going to double down on insanity and go full swing, full tilt Trotskyite, or they were going to say, wait a second, this Obama neoliberalism, this Hillary Clinton pushing the edge, the American people obviously do not like that. They do not want more government control. They are angry at the way things are going economically. We'll go back to the Rust Belt Joe Manchin level Democratic Party. And it's plain as day who the dinosaurs are, right, in the Democratic Party and who the meteorites are. The meteorites are AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and the ringleader, Bernie Sanders, right? They're all campaigning with him. And they are the new fresh faces. They are where the energy is at. And they have won the war, right? The dinosaurs were Joe Manchin, and the meteorites were AOC. And they took them out. And it's just a matter of time before the entire party is simply Karl Marx. Here's your little communist manifesto. Here's your welcome to the Democratic platform, because that is where the energy is. And quite literally, that's where all of the motivation is when it comes to running for president. Look at the questions that were being asked last night. Just look at the questions. Look at what everyone was wanting to talk about. You can see where the direction of the party is going as plain as day like that.
Yeah, at some point in time, somebody asked Bloomberg, if as a billionaire he should exist, and I about fell out of my chair. This is still America, right? I mean, that's all right. Are we seeing? I have this theory. I don't even know that it's a theory. I think it's plain as day that we're seeing a massive reshaping of actually both parties. That the left is going hard left. The right is embracing a more nationalist, stronger stance on immigration, stronger on trade type stuff. Do you see this as being only candidate specific, meaning, yeah, you've got your wingnut Bernie, you've got Donald Trump, or is this really just a movement that we're heading in the country?
Well, populism has always been something that has interested Americans. It's always been, if you want to define populism as America first, or as protecting our country first, America throughout its entire existence has been very much on an island unto itself, has been wanting to not meddle in foreign affairs, has been wanting to protect our borders and our boundaries. And the real globalist movement, which was quite literally represented by President Obama, was, and then the gauntlet had been given to Hillary Clinton, was repudiated in what will go down, of course, in 2016 as one of the most shocking election defeats in American history, perhaps the most shocking election defeat. And so I believe that the party that really does want to continue and to continue to succeed is going to embrace the simple tactics of using strong borders, strong military, American economics first. And those are just far and away winning fronts. This is why if you nominate someone like Bernie Sanders, you're going to lose 40 states.
Benny Johnson, Chief Creative Officer, Turning Point USC. Appreciate your time, my man, always. And get back to your brain scan or whatever you have going on there.
Thank you, Jesse.
Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.